On this episode of the Tiny Home Adventure, we catch some stunningly beautiful light in the Redwoods before heading down the road to the coast where we attempt some tow-in surfing. We stop by an old friend's house to check out my van from season 2 of the Tiny Home Adventure. Then, I almost run Ashley over while surfing. We bushwhack to a secluded surf break where I attempt to catch a few waves, see some dolphins, and more.
Who's catching it?
Yeah!
After 2 years of building the expedition vehicle of our dreams from the ground up, the time has finally come to hit the road. Watch as Kicker, Ashley, and I push ourselves to our physical and emotional limits, put our relationship to the test, and overcome unforeseen obstacles. Our goal is to spread positivity while learning from some of the world's most inspiring people. Welcome to Season 3 of the Tiny Home Adventure. I had the honor of being asked by Panasonic to shoot a short video using their new full-frame sensor camera called the S5. The theme was to capture light, so we stopped at the Redwoods in hopes to find some rays penetrating through the morning fog. What ended up happening is the wildfire smoke, which we had been trying to avoid, blew in and created some visually stunning effects. I honestly love how this project turned out. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications as we work really hard to produce this content. We continued south through the Redwoods towards our next destination. For those of you not aware, which I imagine is everyone, Ashley and her entire family are huge Eddie Money fans. In fact, the first time I was ever in the car with them all together, they had a 5-song sing-along to their favorite tracks. I was only mildly uncomfortable because I didn't know any of the lyrics, but it was really funny. I unfortunately had to mute the song because of YouTube copyright stuff. As we continued south, we hit some of the worst wildfire smoke that we had seen the entire trip. This was mid-afternoon on a cloudless day. Eventually, we made it to our destination a few hours before sunset.
So this is Brandon's rig. This thing is so sick. He's got the dirt bike, the F350, the camper, but what you don't see is the jet ski on the back here. We're about to go do some attempted tow-in surfing. It's gonna be awesome.
Let's get some tow-ins done.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I'm psyched. Uh-oh, Kicker heard the high five. He's coming to party. He's coming to party. I'm so excited about this. Apparently there's a couple like real small mellow waves inside the jetty here, and then they get a lot bigger. So let's see how this goes. We've got Ashley. Go by.
Go by.
You sure you don't want to come?
I can't, there's no room.
Oh, but you wouldn't like it anyways.
I have to do emails instead.
Oh. Liam, how do you feel?
Oh, I'm stoked. Everyone's a little scared of the sharks, but I'm like, come at me, you know?
Shark bait, ooh-ha-ha over here. Ladies, Liam is currently single at the time of this filming, and he currently has all of his appendages, including the important ones.
Andrew and I talked about if I get eaten by a shark, I'm going on the Ellen show and getting more followers than him.
Is Ellen still a show?
No, Ellen got canceled.
She's on Netflix.
She's 2020. She got canceled. She's on Hulu. Liam's so happy back there.
Unfortunately, the waves we had seen did not quite pan out as we had planned, but it was still really fun messing around in the water with Brandon's jet ski. The next morning, we caught up with my good friend Amos, who is in episode 8 of season 1 of the Tiny Home Adventure. Amos is a gifted athlete and very like-minded adventurer.
Here at my friend Amos's house. We're being quiet because it's really early in the morning and his parents are probably still sleeping. But yeah, Amos is the kid who I sold my van to.
It's really cool to be here because the last time I saw the van is when Andrew and I first started dating, like the very first few weeks of us dating. He had the van, so it brings back some memories.
So it's in a little bit of rough shape, but yeah.
When I sold Amos the van from season 2, it had over 400,000 miles on it. He drove it all the way down to Nicaragua and back over the course of 9 months, which sounded like an absolutely incredible adventure. I believe he's planning on selling it soon, so if there's anyone that's interested, let me know and I'll put you guys in contact. We crossed the Golden Gate Bridge into San Francisco before stopping in Santa Cruz for a little surfing. To be honest, both Ashley and I were really intimidated to be surfing and filming here because we've heard a lot of stories about territorial locals in the area, but it ended up being a really fun session. One of our Patreons and now good friends, Justin, joined us for the day, which was really cool. Ashley and I caught our first wave together, which went really well until I almost ran her over. Thankfully, she was fine and laughed it off. That evening, we drove further south to chase the swell.
Good morning, everyone. So last night, we decided to drive arguably one of the most beautiful parts of the entire West Coast at night to try and get to the surf spot early in the morning. And it turns out that the parking lot to the surf spot is closed because they're staging fire equipment, hoping that we can get to this spot that we sacrificed this beautiful part of the drive for. It's kind of frustrating to drive that far and get skunked essentially, but it's not looking too bad. This is beautiful over here, so yeah, wish us luck. So thanks to Google Maps, we found a trail that leads to the beach that doesn't go through the closed area. So we're super psyched. It looks awesome. I don't think there's gonna be anybody out there, maybe a few people, but it looks like we're gonna have the place to ourselves at least at first. Here we go. Yeah! It's not the most glamorous cut through I've ever had, but it's gonna be worth it. I hope. Oh. See it, we're doing it. Woo. What do you think, Liam?
Oh man, this is awesome, but carrying a camera, wetsuit, board bag, and backpack is a little bit of a struggle. Not complaining though.
Big turnaround. Okay. All right, here we go. Woohoo. Oh. It's a freaking jungle in here. Well, that was a bushwhack. I think both Liam and I are kind of sweaty and hot, but these waves are breaking. They're looking good. So we're gonna go get suited up and jump in.
I've spent the last few weeks obsessively researching surfboards and decided to get the 5.5 Firewire Seaside shaped by Rob Machado. This is the first time I've ever owned a new surfboard.
I've been so obsessed with surfing lately. It's like a new learning curve, a new, really, really challenging. It's funny, like, surfing is actually only 10% surfing. Surfing is mostly paddling, decision making, reading the water, and yeah, it's hard, but I'm loving it. It's super rewarding when you actually catch a wave for like a little bit longer than you caught before, or you make a turn, or even just pop up on the wave at this point. I mean, it's a pretty good reward. try to make that look sexy every time. Never works.
I paddled out, which was an absolute battle. My shoulders are currently super weak, so paddling out always kicks my butt. Just when I think I'm in the clear, I'll take a rest only to be caught inside again. There are so many lessons to be learned from surfing, it's ridiculous.
The sun just came out, caught a wave, super beautiful. Only one other dude out here, loving it. It's pretty special. Man, I tell you what, surfing's way harder than I thought it would be, but super rewarding. This is pretty special. Dolphins. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a pod of like 15 dolphins. 1, 2. Not gonna lie, they scared the shit out of me. Cool. Hi guys. You gonna catch some waves? Show me. He's catching it. Yeah! Yeah! That was awesome! You see that guy just jump?
What a moment to remember. Of course I got caught inside just after seeing this pod of dolphins.
Holy sh**.
Eventually, my arms were totally spent from paddling, and I could no longer get through the break. We decided to call it a day before heading further south down the road.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We've been working our butts off trying to get these episodes uploaded. It's been an absolute blast being on the road, living in the Muse Roamer. You know, it's definitely not the easiest thing living full-time in a vehicle with your partner. You know, it's a very small space. We live together, we work together, but we're making it work, which is really fun. We do want to put together a video on Ashley about her backstory and about how we met. So if you have any questions for Ashley, head to the comments, drop a comment. What would you like to know about her and how we met and all that good stuff, because I think that's a pretty big missing part of this story.
Yeah, I'm excited to share kind of my background with everybody and my insight on this whole like living on the road, traveling on the road thing. So let me know what you want to know and I'll be happy to answer them. This week's episode, it's kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things that we did while traveling down the coast. I had so much fun surfing in Santa Cruz. Actually, on our way there, we don't have footage of it because there wasn't anywhere to stop and pull off, but I knew it was going to be a good time because we saw a bunch of dolphins swimming like on our way into town, and I was like, this place is cool.
It's funny how psyched Ashley gets anytime she sees like a dolphin or anything wildlife.
Seal. I like them. I like
jellyfish.
But surfing in Santa Cruz was so fun. I was so worried about surfing there just because I've heard the locals can be pretty intense, and I'm not a great surfer. I don't know like lineups and how not to drop into people.
Ashley's also very non-confrontational and not competitive at all. So it's really hard for her to be in a competitive environment where you have to compete to get a wave and actually catch a wave. So
I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, was I in your way? Here, I'll back off and just sit over here where no waves crash. That's fine.
Yeah, Ashley will spend most of her time like 45 feet away from the nearest place you could possibly catch a wave. We're working on that.
But it was really fun because in Santa Cruz I met an older lady that I don't remember her name, but she was an art teacher and had just retired. And she was giving me so many pointers and like how to ride, how to do the turtle roll with your board, like how to catch the best waves, like how to stay out of people's way. And she was really sweet and like hung out with me for the most of the time we were out there, and I actually did start like catching waves, so that was pretty cool. And then later on in the segment where Liam and Andrew go down to surf and Andrew sees the dolphins, I didn't go on that one just because it was a really long hike to get down there, and I wasn't even quite sure I was going to be able to surf, if the waves were going to be too big or if it was rocky, so I just decided to stay back and hang out with this little guy in the rig.
I get a lot of questions about people asking how we make a living, lots and lots of different ways. We're actually going to do a video on that here in the near future, a little bit more detail on how I actually make a living. I've done a podcast on it, but I'm a photographer, videographer, and athlete, so I work for a couple different brands as an athlete or ambassador. I work for a few other brands as a content creator, creating photo and video assets for their marketing purposes. So it was really cool when Panasonic reached out and asked me to shoot the launch of their new camera, to create some assets for that. I included the teaser into this episode. It wasn't an ad for Panasonic. It was more so just a piece of work that I've done that I was really proud of, and it also was like immersed in our travels. So that's how we make it work. Like, we're traveling, but we're also picking up projects along the way. But yeah, this camera's pretty sick. I usually shoot on the GH5, which is a Micro Four Thirds sensor camera. This is the full frame kind of version of that. It's a little different, but cool camera. Yeah, so that was a really cool project.
It was fun to shoot too, because Kicker and I just got to romp around the Redwoods for a few days hanging out, and it was just fun. It was beautiful. I'd never been there before, and Kicker enjoyed all the sticks. So
yeah, you guys were great talent, you know, just mobbing around the forest. That light was so cool. The smoke had blown in, which made it like, you know, we only thought we had about 45 minutes in the morning to shoot, but what actually ended up happening is the God rays formed all day because of the wildfire smoke, which was really tragic, but did create a beautiful effect for that project, which was really cool. But yeah, we're cranking, trying to get all this content out, trying to get a little bit more caught up. We're currently in Baja. This next episode will be us crossing over the border potentially. I haven't edited it yet, but we're working hard to get there. Quick little update, we do have stickers for sale. These things are rad. You can go to our website. Also, all of our Patreons will be receiving our sticker at any level. So if you sign up for join us on Patreon, we'll send you some free stickers, which would be awesome. And as always, big thanks to our Patreons for making this possible. The Tiny Home Adventure is totally unsponsored at the moment. We're making around $300 a month on YouTube revenue. So, you know, if you can't join us on Patreon, make sure to hit subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Share with your friends. If you like our content, that is huge. Just share it around. Create some awareness as to, you know, the series that we're creating. And yeah, we just really appreciate you watching. We appreciate your support. And lots and lots of love. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Tiny Home Adventure.
Woo! Happy holidays!
Happy holidays. Lots of love from all of us to all of you. And Kicker says, subscribe.
Oh yeah.